The Prescott Valley real estate market stats for October are hot off the press, and buyers, you're going to like these numbers. I'm Brent Wofford, Arizona's rad realtor with Keller Williams Arizona Realty here in beautiful northern Arizona. And let's dive into the market stats for November 2023. All right, enough of my face. You don't want to see my thumbnail. Let's get right to it. Prescott Valley, Arizona, homes for sale. Buyers, this is what I'm talking about. Inventory is up over last month and is at the highest number of homes available for sale this year. That means you have more homes to choose from than you have at any other point this year. So 263 is the number of homes for sale in the MLS right now as of the end of October. You can see my cursor here on the screen. We were at a high of 103 last summer in September. And historically, over the last 3 years, that's how far I've gone back in the numbers, there's actually 66 in February of 2021. That is crazy. Buyers were absolutely fighting over homes then. If you sold your home then, good on you. That was the right time to sell it. But let's talk about October at 263 homes to choose from. That is down 12% compared to October of last year, or 35 less homes on market compared to last year. But hey, it's a win. We are up for this year. Like I said, 263 is the most we've seen so far this year in 2023. Diving into the next stat, how does that affect the market? That actually has increased our supply in months up to 2.97, or almost 3 months of supply. What does that mean, Brent? What does 3 months even mean? Why do we care, right? Why should you care as a buyer or a seller? Well, as real estate professionals, we track what kind of market we are in based on the number of months of supply. So just to run over it real quick with you, anything between 5 to 7 months of supply is a balanced market. Anything over 7 months of supply is going to be a buyer's market, and anything under 5 months of supply is indeed a seller's market. So even though we are up on inventory, up on supply, technically we're still in a seller's market. However, what I'm seeing on this side, and other real estate professionals like myself here in the area can attest to, is that it's not feeling as much like a seller's market as it was over the last 3 years. And this chart tells us why, right? We are almost at 3 months of supply, which is the highest point we have been at over the last 3 years, with the lowest point being in February of 2021, when there was 66 homes on market, I think it was. Yep, 66 homes on market. So it's a direct correlation with how many houses are for sale, with the exception of last year. We had more houses on the market than we did at the end of October last month. However, we had a lot more buyers in the market, so demand was up. That's why supply did not cross that 3 month mark. Next stat that y'all want to know, I always get asked this question, is what's the average sales price? What are houses selling for in Prescott Valley, right? So we like to look at the median sales price rather than the average. If you don't know what median is, just pause this video right now, go do a quick Google search and type in median versus average. It'll tell you what the difference is. We like to go by the median. It feels like a more a more solid number. It's not a less skewed number would be the best way to put it, right? Because if there's any huge sales that are an anomaly for the area, it's not going to have the effect on it like it would if we were taking an average. Anyways, 454,950. So almost 455,000 was the median sales price for October. And that's actually down a bit, even though we're still technically in a seller's market. It was down from 462,000 in September, but it's up from 451,000 in August. The highest point we've seen over the last 3 years was actually in May of last year, May of 22, with 467,000 as the median sales price, which really isn't. I mean, gosh, that's 12,000 550 more than what we just hit last month. So really, it's not that much higher than we were at last month in October. The least we've seen, or the lowest median price, we actually haven't seen that since January of 2021 at 347,000. So the market's just been going up from there. Really, as a homeowner in Prescott Valley, one thing that you want to know is where were we at year over year? You know, we're at 3.5% increase in the median sales price from October of last year to October of this year, which isn't even to the number that we've been looking at for inflation. You know, it's just slightly below being on par with inflation year over year. So if you're looking at it and taking inflation into consideration, really your home has not increased in value, but it also hasn't decreased in value. National headlines out there saying the market's crashing. Home sales are screeching to a halt. You know, the market's on fire. It's burning down. You know, ooh, crash, crash, crash. We're not seeing that here in Prescott Valley yet. Dive into the next stat. Speaking of that, with the number of homes sold, last month in October, we were at 88. So we have seen a slight decline since August, but we're still up from July and June, which is, you know, early summer. We're not seeing that crash in number of home sales here in Prescott Valley. You know, it is staying pretty consistent. We are lower year over year from last year. 12 less homes that sold in October of this year versus October of last year, which is down 12% because there was 100 homes that sold in Prescott Valley in October of last year. Obviously down from 2021. That was a red hot market. Lots of sales going on at that time. Next stat to dive into here, sold to list price. So what this is the percentage of what the sales price on the home is when it closes escrow versus what it was actually listed for when it went under contract. We're not taking into consideration discounts on the homes prior to that, you know, price reductions as we would call them. We're just simply looking at how much was negotiated off of the price in the deal. And Prescott Valley's pretty close to being right there on list price. I mean, 98.8% means the average discount was only 1.2%. And if you take 1.2% of that median sales price, that's on average a $5,000 discount off of the list price. So if you're a buyer watching this right now, you know, we're not seeing crazy massive discounts on homes, you know, unless it's a home that needs work, it needs repairs, rehab, or it's been on the market for a really long time. Don't expect to lowball a seller and be able to buy it for that price, or even get them to respond if you're coming in with a really lowball offer on it, because the statistics are showing us houses are selling right now for almost at list price. You can actually see in June of 2021, they were selling for over list price, 1.8% over the last listed price. And then the lowest we've seen, or the biggest discount we've seen so far in the last 3 years, was back in January of this year. So the beginning of this year, the average discount was only 2.5% off of list price. Days on market. So I had mentioned time on market, right? That is definitely something you want to look at if you're a buyer in the house that you like. Pay attention to the days on market. Your agent, your realtor should be advising you on this anyways. But if you don't have a realtor yet, that's something to look at. Also, if you don't have a realtor yet, I am a local realtor here in Prescott. I would love to help you out. Let's dive into the stats. 48.3 days on market was the average for Prescott Valley last month in October. What does that mean? That means from when the house went up for sale on the market, sign in the yard, to when it closed escrow was an average of 48.3 days. You have to keep in mind the escrow period. Right now, if you're using a loan, the typical escrow period is 30 days. If you're a cash buyer, you're probably going to be closer to 20 days because you want to make sure you get your inspection period in, and the standard inspection period in Arizona is 10 days. So you definitely want to make sure you get that taken care of, and you're not trying to do a 7-day close. Don't get to do your proper home inspections and then get the keys to find out the AC doesn't work or something doesn't work on the home, right? At that point, unfortunately, you didn't do your due diligence of hiring a home inspector and having the home properly inspected. So 48.3 days. This is an increase since, gosh, we haven't seen it almost up this high since June. July, August, and September were lower, or that means homes were selling quicker in those months. And I think it has something to do with the supply of homes. As supply of homes increases, we typically tend to see the days on market increase because buyers have more homes to choose from at that point. You know, the highest that we've seen in the last 3 years was the beginning of this year in January. Homes were sitting on market for an average of 68 days. And the quickest period that we actually saw was in May of 22. Homes were gone, already off the market in 2 weeks. Like sold, keys handed over in a 2-week period, which that was insane. That was a crazy time to be in the real estate game. If you're buying or if you're selling or if you're an agent, title escrow, everybody, we can all tell you it was a very high-paced time to be buying and selling real estate. So back to the stats. If we compare last month over last year, you're looking at an average of 11 more days on the market because last year it was at 37 days on market. So all right. Right. So in summary, let's talk about the market. Technically, according to the statistics, we are in a seller's market still. Prescott Valley, it does feel like we are still in a seller's market, heading towards a buyer's market, depending on the house, and it depends on the price range. So if you are buying a house that's above the median price point, it's going to feel more like a balanced market where houses are going to be on the market for longer. You're going to be able to negotiate some things into the deal. You might be able to negotiate in concessions and do in a home warranty and maybe a discount, I would say, or a discount. You're probably not really going to get both. If you're buying a house in Prescott Valley that is below that median price point, there are houses that are still seeing bidding wars. The good ones are going fast. The ones that are move-in ready, that don't need any paint, any touch-ups, any landscaping, anything like that, those are the ones selling the quickest right now in Prescott Valley. So keep that in mind if you're a buyer in the market right now. And if you're a seller too, and you want to sell a home in Prescott Valley and you're below that median price point, already know what you're going to do and where you're going to go. I just heard a story recently this week that there was a seller that one of our teammates helped out. The seller didn't think that his house was going to sell very quickly. They wound up getting it under contract the same day they put it on the market, and he had to be out in 30 days. And he was not happy about that. Even though it sold super quick, he got the price he wanted. He was not happy about moving out simply because he didn't expect it to sell that quickly. So always expect that to happen, even though it might not happen. Be prepared. That's what I'm trying to say, is be prepared, right? Another thing I want to address here is that there's a lot of news out there right now circling around the internet, around YouTube, about doom and gloom. The real estate market is crashing. Sales are down. Interest rates are up. And yes, that's true. Interest rates are up right now. But those other things you're seeing in the headlines are not applying to Prescott Valley right now. As you can see, yeah, we do have some inventory up, but sales have not dropped off a cliff. The price of homes has not dropped off a cliff. We are just chugging along business as usual out here. So anyways, keep that in mind. No one knows for certain. No one has a crystal ball. They don't know what's going to happen in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. One thing that we do know is that it's an election year next year, and it is going to be a bit chaotic. But people always buy and sell during election years. So that's something you need to do. Obviously, consult your realtor for your latest market stats in your neighborhood and in Prescott Valley, rather than paying attention to the national headlines and taking those as gospel for what's actually happening here in Prescott Valley. If you are interested in finding out what's going on in your particular neighborhood, or you want to know what your home's worth, I've dropped a link below in the description. So please feel free to go to that. and click the link, fill out the information, and I'll get back to you and let you know. I'll give you a market stats just for your neighborhood, or if you put your address in there, I'll give you an estimate of what your home's worth. Obviously I need to come over and see it to give you a more accurate number, but I can go based off of the photos from the last time it was sold, and I can do it based off of that and not taking in the upgrades that you've done to the home into consideration. So we can talk about that offline. Any questions that you have on that? What else is there? Sorry, just going through my notes. I'm new to these lives, and I'm going to be bringing you this information monthly from here on out. I've also got some other links down below, so if you want to search for homes here in Prescott Valley, you can use my search link. An advantage of using our team's website instead of using Zillow is that if you enter any information in there, it's going to come directly back to me. It's not going to get shotgun blasted out to 15 to 20 agents that are then going to blow up your phone and call you. It's just the website for us, not for everybody out there. And as always, there's no dumb questions in real estate. So if you have any questions on the information I've shared here today, my contact information is listed below. Please reach out to me directly and ask me any questions. I'm always here to help and assist you with that however I can. Sorry, just checking my notes again. So thanks so much for joining me today. If you found value in this update, can you please do me a huge favor? Can you smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already? And thanks again, and I hope you have a rad day.